Hi everyone and welcome to our video release of our Abigail collection. Wow, you are gonna love this. There are so many just beautiful elements in this kit. And I know I kind of say this, maybe I'm a little biased, you never know, right? But there are so many beautiful elements in this kit. You are really going to want to see this video to see each and everything before you dive into and head over to our store to purchase this. This is our bundled collection, which obviously includes all 5 of the coordinated products that belong with this collection. So when you purchase this bundled collection, you automatically save 20% off versus purchasing each of these 5 products individually. So the bundled includes our FQB, our 2 paper pack, our solids paper pack, our alpha, and our little bits additional elements pack, of which nothing in here is duplicates. So let's dive in here. Let's get out of this screen. Let's dive in here and see exactly what it is that I'm talking about in here. And starting with the background papers, look at that. Didn't we start off right? Beautiful seed packets, clocks, keys, butterflies. The coloration is so lovely to work with. It really is a vintage feel, but it can also go a little bit shabby chic. As you will see, there are some elements in here that will lend itself to that. You can see that we do provide things in different colors as well, where you'll see the same pattern in different colors. And we want that so that way, if you are going, like I said, this teal can kind of go a little more shabby chic. Maybe that's not something you wanted to do. You wanted to go a little more light and airy, so you decided to use this beautiful kind of beige or kind of linen look to your paper. So there's the differences that I was talking about earlier. Gorgeous patterns with this chandelier pattern. Again, in the few different colors, the collage background. These are just wonderful, and I love how Mary Fran does this for us, because for those of us, and I'm one of them, who really has a trouble with the scale and, combining all these beautiful elements together to make this wonderful cluster, Mary Fran's done it for us. So using this as a starting paper, whether it be for your card, your scrapbook layout, or your mini album, you can add in another main element. You can add in a photo. You can add in a sentiment, maybe a digital stamp from the ones that you'll see coming up later in the kit. You really have a well-built page or a well-built cover automatically, but just by simply utilizing these backs that are already here. Here's some other muted patterns. These are the damasks, so that you do have different things in here, but you also have these gorgeous florals. Look at that vintage pink rose. Isn't that truly stunning? The beautiful minted kind of leaf with the swirl on it in the background. Just gorgeous. Just so well done. And this striking black. Mary Fran has done a couple of these in the kits that obviously it's suitable for. But these are just make such striking background papers. When you call this up in your screen, you will love that. Here it is in the soft pink. Imagine that going for a Mother's Day card, a baby shower, or a baby, something to do with a birth announcement, or maybe a mini album with the babies. Like, how lovely is that? You could also use this for a wedding. There are so many uses for a kit like this. The sky is the limit, and your imagination is the limit. So really look at this as you go through. Here's where I was talking as well with the lace on the top of this background paper. A gorgeous background paper. Mary Fran is calling this pillow, in case when you're going through your folder, once you've purchased this and you're looking for that back, you'll see it under the P's for pillow. With the lace on top, it does lend itself to either vintage, cottagey, shabby chic, in those genres. So there definitely are those elements and papers in here. Again, beautiful florals in this rose and stripe. And here, with this rose stem with the words in here, this is one you've seen a little bit earlier, but it had another paper over top of it. This is fabulous. Can you see the vintageness in this with the wording and how it's kind of worn a little bit? It just really evokes such a feeling of that, I don't know, elegance or vintageness. I hope you're seeing it come through on the pages on your screen here. And again, we have, like I said, simpler patterns so that you have easy coordinates. Wow, tough talking today. Easy coordinated papers, because we always want more elaborate and lavish ones, as well as some simpler patterns so that things don't clash or conflict with each other. And So there are the background papers that are included in just the FQB alone. The brads, again, great vintage worn. Look at how you can see the lines in that like it was cracked and it's been around for generations. A beautiful vintage element to add things to. The butterflies, great style, little differently in terms of their shape than you're used to in our kits, in case you have some others with butterflies, but equally as unique and element and usable. They're really something to use in your mini albums and layouts and cards. They are fabulous, fabulous items. Buttons with greatly colored fabrics over the buttons so that you can really blend easily with that. In case you saw background paper, you saw this background paper and you thought, geez, I didn't want quite that much of it, or I wanted to add something that had that in it as well. Here's the coordinates with it. It's no different than when you go to the store and you buy a party pack of paper plates and you're like, okay, where's all the matching stuff to go with this? Where's the cups? Where's the napkins? All that kind of stuff. This is exactly what Mary Fran really tries to do for you in the kits, is to give you all those coordinated pieces so it is so easy to work with. Circle labels, you are lovely. Again, you can totally see that vintage feel come through with the worn edges on the clock, the way the rose, it looks like a vintage, the feel of it all gives you that vintage feel in order to create beautiful, elegant, mature layouts, cards, and mini albums. Here's that corner cluster that we saw earlier on a background paper. Now here it is for you to place wherever you want it. Because maybe you saw that paper and you thought, oh, that's really neat. I wish I could take that cluster and put it on a different page or whatever. And this gives you that opportunity to do that. Beautiful flares with the metal edge around it. Gives it such sparkle and shine. Great sentiments in them, and the font work in here is just beautiful. It so goes with the kit. Here's just a silhouetted woman's face. Again, a beautiful thing. Can you imagine that? Imagine that on a perfume bottle or something like that. Wouldn't that be a beautiful label? Well, why not orient your layouts or things like that in order to go that way? There's no reason why you can't do that and create with that in mind, that is maybe your inspiration and you want to go in that format. Frames, this one's a little harder to see here. This one you can see a little bit better. So they are, again, photo frames, but don't forget that you can put background papers behind this. You can put main elements behind this. You can do so much with the frames. Don't think of them only as for photos, because there certainly is a lot more use to it. Journaling cards, again, has the lines on it. It has that worn vintage look. Doesn't this look like something you would have gotten from the 40s or 50s? Somebody has a handwritten note, thoughts of you, and that's exactly what these are for. Use these for your journal cards in your scrapbook layouts and in your mini albums, but as well as in your cards. Imagine printing this out and this is an insert into the card, and this is all handwritten out for you because you've so well adorned the card itself. That is really what makes it special to someone when you could get it as a recipient, is something special like these journal labels and journal cards where you've taken the time to handwrite in there. That it really is what gives it its full meaning. Here are some journal strips that are blank. Again, really well done. Gorgeous looking items. Very well much in the theme and the feel of this kit. But it gives you them in blank. So that way, you know what? You maybe wanted to say something. Maybe this is a Mother's Day. Maybe this is an anniversary. Maybe this is a wedding. Obviously, we can't put, everything into a kit in terms of the fonts or the themes or the feelings that you particularly wanted. But that's the reason for giving you these blanks, is so that you have that creative ability in order to fill those in yourself. Wonderful keys. Look at this, how detailed this is with this, almost a fleur-de-lis type of top to it, as well as the full skeleton key shape, all covered in this vintage black paper. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Labels. Labels are just fabulous as well because you can actually put these in as some of your feelings and stuff. You can use these, maybe they'll stem and give you some creative inspiration as well. Live for the moments that you can't put into words. Maybe you're doing a layout for a friend that you went on vacation together, or you went out on an evening and you went to, you went out for dinner, maybe you took in a play or you took in some other event. You went to a craft sale with them and, you had some photos from that because you just really love that day. or that weekend that you went with them, why not use these as great starters for you? And here are a couple of labels. These are so well done. Look at this in Abigail. Again, here we are, perfume. As you can see, I was, got my ideas from somewhere earlier when I was mentioning what you could do with this. But imagine placing that into your creations. How beautiful is that? That looks like something professional that is already on a bottle that you've purchased somewhere, for an item. Again, the labels here is in a different color, a fully different design, equally as elegant, equally as useful, and some label circles. So these are great elements just to add in. Same thing with this label rose. These are wonderful, and you'll see how Mary Fran and I both use these in our card making and scrapbooking layout ideas that I'll show you at the end. These are such great items in order to give you, and in order to pull together everything that you're trying to get for a feeling or a theme. These just work excellent for that. Little frames, which these frames actually on your screen, they look like exactly the same size as the other ones, but actually when you call them up in your computer, they're quite a bit smaller. So you can link these together and use 2 or 3 of them on a page if you'd like. And again, for photos, again, place a background paper behind it, place a digital stamp in here and with words, write in it yourself. Whatever it is that you want to do, they're great for so many ideas. Little lockets, aren't these gorgeous with the keyhole right in the center? Imagine pairing one of these with one of the keys that we had seen earlier, because maybe it's something about love. Like I said earlier, maybe it is a wedding, maybe it is a Mother's Day, maybe it's a birthday. There's so many ways you can use this kit, and so many thoughts that we've put into it in order to give you those creative ideas. The music sheet, a gorgeous element for someone. And the same thing with the painted windows. Look at how beautiful that is with the rose swag placed in behind the window. What a great element. A postcard, again, a fabulous element to use as a journal card. Why not use it as a main part to your page? Because like I said before, maybe you went on a mini vacation with a friend of yours. Maybe it's your wife or husband. There's so many options with these that you can utilize. This one's a little differently done, a little more writing space down on the left side here. This is called a primer sampler. So this isn't your alpha that you get in the kit. I don't want you to think that. This was just simply an element to use for your layouts and cards. So many uses for something like that, as well as the ribbons. Simple, elegant, easy to blend into, give you some color or a little bit of a detail. You can see that the ends have the triangle cut out of them like they were used, a pinking shear or whatever on it. So easy to add that little extra bit of color and elegance to areas which you just want to add a little something to. The rose clusters, here they are in single formats for you, so that way you can cluster them together how you see fit. For those of you that are much more creative than someone like myself, you have that ability in order to put those things together. Or maybe you wanted to use this as a single rose to highlight your feeling and your creative vision that you had for your creation. Here is some seed packets. Aren't these gorgeous? Can you imagine getting your garden seeds in a package that looked like this? Here it is, Chamon Gardens from 1927. Isn't that something that really truly looks like you have had it for years? They're vintage heirloom seeds. Beautiful, beautiful for the person in your life that is possibly a gardener or loves that. So these sentiments, we've had these before, and I want to reiterate, use these like you would a stamp, just like you would a rubber stamp where you stamp it in your colored ink and then you place it onto your layout or onto your card. These are digital versions. So simply think of it as already dipped in the ink. You place it wherever you want. Everything is transparent behind here. So place it on a background paper. Place it in one of the frames like I'd spoken about earlier. There's so many ways to use this. Place it over a photo that you've already placed in there. There's lots of uses. Simple tickets. How great are these? Maybe you went to a concert, a play, you went to an event. Maybe it is just something you wanted to use in your card. Maybe you wanted to put it on an envelope on the outside, and that's their name, address, and phone number. How wonderful is that in order to personalize something and in order to dress up an envelope? Here's the windows individually. This one we are calling window clean because you can't see any glass or anything in this. This one gives you the feeling, hey, here's glass. You can place something in behind this because this is opaque behind it. So if you wanted to put a flower, you wanted to put a background paper, whatever, you can still layer something in behind that and have it come through the window just like it would if it were glass. And there we are back to the start for the background papers. So that is what is included in just the FQB. In the little bits, which is our additional elements pack, you see that you get a lot of elements that you did not receive, but a lot of them are fully done clustered elements. For those, if you're like myself, geez, you know, I can't put this together, this element here. I want Mary Fran to do it for me, and she has. Here it is with a cluster. There's that window we spoke about earlier that you saw. There's the butterfly. It's all put together for you. You simply put that onto your card or your layout or your mini album page. Here you have an area for photo. You are already set to go. It's very easy to create with this stuff. Same thing with this cluster that you can go vertically up the side. Fonts are already done for you. You've got the tag in there to give you the feeling. There's a locket. This can also give you some very good creative ideas how to utilize the stuff. If you want to design it a little bit differently, there are parts and pieces in there so you can do this yourself. And again, journal tickets, which are blank for you. We realize that you want to say something yourself. It may not be dream, or it may be in a different language. We realize that not everyone that we deal with has English as their primary language, and we want to make sure that you have the ability in order to place on your stuff in your languages. Again, a sentiment of love. This is a stamp, like a digital stamp. Utilize it like a digital stamp. So you have so many options that you can use this with. Same thing with beautiful and lovely square. Look at this. Again, you can use this as its own page. It is already done for you. And that way you can get to creating quickly, easily, and have great results, which is, you know, really the whole point. You really want things to turn out super well for yourself. The 2 paper pack, as I've mentioned in previous videos, you will see these patterns in the FQB, but you will not see them in these colors. These colors only come in the 2 paper pack. So there are no duplicate papers other than pattern, okay? So by purchasing the 2 paper pack, I don't want you to think that you're getting duplicates of anything. You will not see these colored papers anywhere else in any of the other of the 5 products that we have included in the bundle. So I want you to be aware of that when you purchase that. The same thing goes with our solids. Our solids are meant to act like digital cardstock. You can see that there's this wonderful kind of embossed pattern into it. It almost looks like, if you look at it really closely, it looks like a little bit of a stitching, you know, like you'd have ribbing on the edge of a piece of fabric, or maybe on your chair, you know how it has that piping? It almost kind of looks a little bit like that, the texture of it. But these are meant to be used as digital cardstock. We always want the exact color match, and that is the purpose of this. Don't bother going into your card stash in your drawer in your craft room or whatever you have them, sitting out on a counter like we do. You kind of want the exact color match in order to go with this, and that is the purpose of the solids. Our talk is our alpha, and obviously when you utilize an alpha with the numbers, the letters, the point of it is to really highlight something. Is that somebody's birthday? Is it the year they were married? Is it their initials? Is it a word because you want to spell out love or laughter or happiness or garden or whatever it is? That way you can utilize this alpha that has letters, numbers, and some punctuation in it in order to spell out really what you're trying to get across. That evoked feeling of whatever it is for that theme of that layout page or your mini album or your card. You have this ability in order to really punctuate it, really make it stand out so that it's quite obvious exactly what you're trying to say. So that is the entirety of what you get in the entire kit if you were to purchase all 5 of those products. Now our layout, to give you some inspiration, you will also be able to see these. This isn't only in the video. If you go to our FQB or our bundled products in our store, you will be able to see underneath the main product image, you'll see a bunch of little photos underneath the additional images. If you just hover over those additional images, you will get a chance to see these as well in a little bit larger format for you. But gorgeous layout. Mary Fran did this in so much white space, so clean looking, so elegant looking. And this happens to be one of our current puppies, Paige, Abigail, which is who it's named for, the kit, because she is a sweet girl and she really is kind of a dainty little girl. And this layout here is us playing with the two dogs. There's our pups, our current dogs right now. And again, look at the usage that Mary Fran has done. The way she clusters things together, her sense of scale, her choice of pattern paper, things like that. How she used this lock down in the corner here and put one of those brads that we saw really early on in the FQB and used it almost like a thumbtack. These are great inspirational ideas so that way when you're sitting down to create and you're like, boy, I love this kit and I see this item and I see that item and how am I going to put this all together? Use these as your guide, if you will, in order to draw some inspiration. You may think even, oh, you know what? Here's how she used that grammatical element that has all the letters on it and everything else. Wow, what a neat idea. That's how she chose to use it. Oh, here's the clock, and look at how small it is. That ended up really well. It's not so large. I don't need it as a really, really large element. It gives you idea on scale and how to blend things together. And if you really love everything about it, well, we can do what you call scrap lift it or card lift it, meaning you just reproduce it. You know, you have all these embellishments and papers all at your disposal, so just use those and away you go. And for the card, I tried to create something that leaned a little more in that shabby chic style. I wanted to show that off. That background paper, it really did it for me. Same thing, I backed it with the chandelier paper, really to give that, I don't know, I was looking for a real vintage feel, which sometimes is a little busier. So I really wanted to use that like that, but very simple, very elegant, kind of, like I said, leaning towards that shabby chic. So folks, that is our bundled Abigail collection. It is fabulous. You really ought to go by our store, pick this one up for yourself. You will not be disappointed, and you will get so much out of this kit. As I mentioned earlier in the video here, you can use it for so many different ideas and themes that you will be at a loss to not be able to use this kit. And you'll probably use this kit many times over because you can create so many different things with it, and like I said, for so many different themes. So thanks for stopping by and listening to our video and seeing what it actually offers you. Before you go off to our store to purchase this for yourself, make sure and click on our icon in the lower right of this video screen, our Nitwit Collections icon, which will subscribe you to our YouTube channel, so you'll be sure to be made aware when the new videos are placed out for you. You won't miss a thing. As well, give us a thumbs up if you liked the video and leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts. If you had something you wanted to say about this collection, if you had a question, maybe I went by something too quickly, whatever it is, let us know. We're always happy to help. So thanks once again, and I hope you'll whisk off now to our store to pick up this collection for yourself.